Hi all, we are back with another video. Today we are going to do LeetCode 49 group anagram. This is again from the Blind 75 playlist. We have done a valid anagram before, so you might go and see that video to understand about anagram more. And you can also see the logic we have applied to solve the valid anagram through sorting and through using map. That will be definitely help here for the better understanding. So I would recommend that before, and I'll give the link of that video in the description. Now, as we can see, the problem statement here goes like we have been given an array of a string called strs, and we have to group together all the anagrams and we have to return the answer in any order. So that means by after grouping those group which will have the values like here, they can be in any order, like 10 will come before and nat can follow it after. So that should be the order of the answer. So as now we can see there are multiple string and we have to categorize, or we have to group together all the anagrams together. So basically we need to find what all string are anagram of each other, and then we have to combine them inside an array and then finally return the output. So how we can do it? As you remember, you might have seen in the valid anagram question that we have used sorting to find out whether two string are anagram of each other or not. So what happens during sorting? If we do sorting of two string, then the sorting order of two strings will be same if they are anagram of each other, because as we know that anagrams are just a rearrangement of the same letters, and sorting is always in the alphabetic order. So if two strings are anagram of each other, then their sorted string will be same. So one solution would be we can get the string one by one and get the sorted string of that and keep this in some map or object and see if it is already there. If it is already there, then we can just go and group it together, and if it is not already there, then create one key there with the sorted key, and like that we can solve it. So this is the solution using sorting. And what else we can do? So we know that sorting will take k log take k time. If k is the length of the string, then it will be taking k log k time, so that is more than the k. So is there any other way where we don't have to sort the strings, rather we can just do something in O of n? So the another approach could be we can just categorize or group together this string by the count of each letters. So what I mean count of each letter? So we know that there are 26 letters in the alphabets, right? So I can create a bucket for all 26 letters in an array, and I can initialize the value of count for each of the letters as 20 as 0. And if let's say I get E, so I can go and increment the count of E with the value of E. And if I'll see the E again, I'll keep on incrementing this value again and again. Similarly, it goes same for all the other letters. So at the end, I will in my array of containing the frequencies, the frequency array will be containing all the count of the letters, and the other strings or other characters which have not occurred. Let's say here only 3 characters are getting used, so there are 23 or more than 23 characters. If these are not repeating, then there are more. If these are not repeating, then we are left with 23 characters which will have the value 0 in this array, right? Now if we combine the values of this count, and if we pad with hash in between like this, then this will be a good way to create a unique key, right? Because we know that if a string which is having only one e will have in its e place, there will be only one value or one here, and at the letter a the value would be one again, and all other, or apart from t, all other values will be 0, right? So our array should be like that it should be of length 26, and it should start with value a and it should end with value z, right? That's how we are going to create it. Now the only issue with this is how we can map a particular letter, let's say E, to its location. So we know that is the ASCII code of the letters or the characters, this alphabetic characters start from 97, and it goes from 97 to whatever it is, 97 plus 26, whatever it is coming around, that much will be the ASCII code of it. So if 97 corresponds to A, then 98 will corresponds to B. So for calculating the position A, the position of A is 0 in this array. The index is 0, and for position of B, the index would be 1. How we can calculate it? So it's very simple. What we can do is, for creating position, we can just get the ASCII key of any character. Let's say this is the ASCII code of a character. We can just subtract 97 out of it and we can get the index in this array, and we can just increment the value there. And then at the end, after getting this array, we can just combine all the values inside a string. So if there are two characters, let's say we have 10 and we have nat, both have t ones, both have a ones, both have n ones, right? So in this array where t position we will have value 1, and at the value of a we will have value 1, and at the value of n, at the position of n we'll have the value of 1. Now if we concatenate, then this the value will look like this, and which will be same for 10 and which will be same for nat as well. So this, the grouping like this is the grouping by the frequencies or grouping by the count. And if you would have grouped through the sorting, then that's another way. So in both of the technique, we are basically creating a unique key to store it in the map. And then if different string creates a same unique key, then they belong to same category or same group. So let's start with our first approach of doing the sorting. So for storing the values of string, I mean after doing the sorting on the string, we will be generating a key and we will be storing that key inside an object, right? So we need an object to store the unique key, and then we will be iterating through the strings. So we will be using for loop to iterate through the string, and what we'll be doing, we will be sorting this string and then we will be creating this key out of it. So but we know that in JavaScript the string doesn't support the sorting directly, so that's why we are first splitting this using the split function, and we are creating array out of it, and on array we can do this sorting operation. At the last we can just join it back to make it a string again. Now we got the unique key. If two strings are the anagram, then they have the same key. Now we have to see whether this key is present in the object or not. If this key is not present in the object, that means we are encountering this key the first time. So that means we have to put some default value in the object with this key. So the default value will be an empty array. So the array we need, because we have to group together all the string and we have to put them in an array. That's why the default value we are putting it as the array. Now we know that we have filled the value with an array, so definitely we have something at this key. Now we can just push this value in the array, because at this position we are sure that this object will have this key. If it was not having this key, we have already created this inside. So now we can just put it together, put this value together with other similar values if it was already present. So now we have grouped together every values. At the end, we need to return the values which we have stored in the object, but getting the values, only the values from the object, because this object have stored the values like key values pair, and key is the sorted key which we don't have to return. That is just for ourselves, because that help us to group together the keys, right? Group together the string. So now for taking the only the values out of the object, we have to use this function called object.values. That's the object function, and we have to pass the object. So it will return all the values from the object. Similarly, if you would have used the map, we would have done map.values. Whatever map we would have used, we would have just used map.values to return the value. So now let's run it and see whether this works fine or not. This works fine, and let's submit it to check whether all the test cases are getting passed or not. This is all the test cases are getting passed. So what is the time complexity of it? As you can see, we are running through each of the element in the string array. So that means if length of the string is n, then definitely we are looping through the n length. So O of n due to that, and then inside the loop you can see that we are doing the sorting operation of each of the string. Let's say the each of the string has the length k, or the maximum length of the string inside this str array is k. Then for sorting them, we need to have k log k time needed. So the total time complexity would be k log k. And if I talk about the space complexity, so definitely whatever space we need to store them. So how much space we are needing to store them? We need to have value for n strings, and each of the string takes k space, right? So total information or total value of letters or information what we are storing is n into k. So that will be the space complexity of it. Let's see the another approach. So for in this approach, we are going to use map for storing the keys. because I have already shown how we can use object to store the keys. So here I want to demonstrate also how we can use map too. So we'll create a map. We are naming it as word map, and we will be storing all the unique key inside this. Now we have to loop through the strings. We'll be looping through the strings one by one, very similar to the first approach, and then we'll be creating a unique key out of the string. So for that we need to create a frequency array. So for creating a frequency array, we need to have an array of length 26, and that will be storing the frequency. So initial frequency will be initialized with 0. So initial frequency I have initialized with 0, and now we will be looping through this string and will be taking one character one by one and incrementing the frequency in this array. So for calculating the index or the position of a particular string in this array, we have to get the ASCII code of it, and we have to subtract from the ASCII code of the A. So I have explained that we can subtract 97 because 97 is the ASCII code of it. If you don't remember it, you can just use this to get the ASCII code of 97. So now this belongs to the position of the array. This belongs to this gives us the value of or position of this particular character inside this array. Now we will go to this location and we will increment the value. Now at the end, after we have filled all the values inside this count frequency array, we can just join this array and we'll pad all the values with this hash, so that all the values will not get mixed, and we'll get to know each of the values are separated with the hash, and there will be a clear demarcation. Now this key, we have to see whether this word map is already having this key or not. Let's say we don't have this key, we are encountering it first time, then we have to we have to basically set the empty array for that position, because we know that we are going to store all the values in the array. So for this key, the value should be an empty array, the default value should be an empty array. Now we know that we have taken care of the default condition, and there would be definitely the value would be an array. So we can just go and push our string into that array, so that all the string which gives us the same key gets grouped together in this key as an array. At the end we have to return the values. So I have used this word map dot values, because for taking the values out of a JavaScript map, we have to do map dot values, and we have to use a spread operator, or what we can do is we can use array dot from, and we can just pass this inside that will also give us the array out of that values. And let's run it and see whether this works. And this works fine. Let's submit in it and check if it works fine too. And this is pretty efficient compared to our previous solution. I hope you like the video. Please share the video with your friends and hit the like button. Subscribe to my channel if you have not done it. Thank you. Take care. See you in the next video.